Joining me now to pay tribute to the late Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu is UCT Vice-Chancellor, Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng. Professor, thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us. Now, as a supporter of higher education, Desmond Tutu had a long history and association with UCT. Talk to us about some of the contributions that he made to the university during his time.
The Archbishop was a supporter of higher education in general, and for us at UCT, we're very fortunate that he was very close to us, as much as he was close with other institutions. But he lent his name to many research-led initiatives at a wide range of universities. And at UCT, we have the Desmond Tutu HIV Center in the Faculty of Health Sciences, which is in Khayelitsha, and it reflects his compassion for those who were affected by the disease. And we also have the Nassen Tutu Center for Marine Environmental Research in the Science Faculty, which reflects his love for the environment. Using his name in this way wasn't just for his name. He paid attention to the work of these research entities, visited them, and was very interested in the work that the research entities do. So for us, it is a great loss. Not so long time ago, in 2019, we launched the Tutu Center for TB and air biology laboratory in Masiphumelele. And his daughter was there because he couldn't be there. But it is always important for us to be in contact with him. The work that we're doing with the community there, as we do, as we get this people to volunteer so that we can do testings, but also working with the women and the young people in the community of Masiphumelele to get them to understand the responsibility of voluntary testing, whether for HIV, whether to check how they're doing in terms of TB, has been, the Tutu name, we've used the Tutu name a lot, in the sense that the community and young people will earn tutus every time they make good decisions. And so a tutu is a credit that they get that they can use to buy groceries or whatever they use the tutu to in terms of the particular different entities that we have relationships with, for them to use the tutus. But the Tutu name has been a strong force in South Africa, particularly with HIV/AIDS, but also with projects such as It Gets Better campaign in South Africa, where he supported sexual minorities who experienced discrimination and as well as interventions against poverty and inequality. So we've had a really, really strong relationship with the Archbishop. We actually, as he passes on now, he had already agreed and approved that we launch the Desmond Tutu Chair in Urology. We've been raising funds for it, but he agreed, he signed off, and that's something that's in the pipeline, and soon we will launch it, because that's part of the work of the team that was working with him throughout his struggle with prostate cancer.
I think that will make for a great legacy project that UCT can take forward. Now, the Archbishop, as we know, was a strong advocate for women in leadership positions. You are UCT's second black woman to be appointed Vice-Chancellor. Others before you include Dr. Mamphela Ramphele. Does it appear, or rather it does appear, that much of the Arch's beliefs were forward-thinking and not stuck in old and antiquated systems? I suppose just talk to us about that perspective that people share of the Arch as well.
The Archbishop was a very special human being. I mean, when I got appointed as Vice-Chancellor and I went to meet him with his family at his house in Cape Town, I mean, it was as if, not only was it as if we had known each other for a very long time, but it was also as if we are the same age group. We talked about serious things because I had gone there to deliver for him the Chancellor's Award that he had won, and should have been, it should have been, he had won it, I think 3 years ago, 3 years before 2018, but it had never been delivered to him. And so I had gone to deliver that and have time with him. And we talked serious stuff about the work that he does, acknowledged the impact of his leadership, not only at UCT in South Africa, in the continent, but worldwide. Moved on from there to him being interested in who I am, where I come from, which is not something that people always do, especially people who are very well established. And then moved on from there to cracking jokes. I mean, he cracked jokes without even thinking about it. Jokes that, as I said, it was as if I'm sitting with a friend, a very close, confidant, someone I could just talk with easily. So he was a very special man. When you're a woman leader in today's world, you meet men who are very established. It's almost like you always have to prove yourself. It's like you have to explain yourself. You have to explain why you got the job. And with Desmond Tutu, I never felt that I had to explain why me. I don't know whether he had done the work of reading much about me, but he respected and congratulated my appointment. He acknowledged the contribution that I'm making. And that, of course, shows his confidence, of course, in women leadership, because this expectation of women having to explain who they are or made to feel that they are not good enough and that they have to give an argument for why they got the job. It's always only with women, and with him there was none of that. And so he in many ways didn't just only talk justice. He lived justice. He practiced it, and he enacted it. He didn't just do it in books or on stages when he was talking.
Right.
I experienced that his reception of my leadership is as that.
Well, woman to woman, Professor, thank you so much for sharing that perspective with us. That's UCT Vice-Chancellor Mamokgethi Phakeng joining us on the line there to help pay tribute to the late Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu.